How's it going, guys? It's Double Wide 6, and today I'm taking a look at a push mower, and it's actually a Craftsman, and it has a common problem. The self-propel's not working, and it's not related to the belt. It's actually related to the wheel ratchets or the paws in the wheel. I'm going to show you, I'll walk you through this repair. You guys will like it. Alright guys, here's the mower that I'm working on. I'm not a big fan of these mowers. I've had a couple of these. They're actually like Craftsman. It says it's a 80-year special edition. It's the kind that has the tube going up. There's the tube thing. And then it bags. They bag excellently. They mulch okay. But there's all kinds of problems. These handles break a lot. And a lot of times there's issues with the self-propel. I've worked on a few of these, and another thing is there's one lever to adjust both wheels, and that tends to cause all kinds of problems. For instance, a lot of times they rattle. Sometimes these handles, they're spring steel, they break off, and then you can't adjust the height, and the mower just falls to the ground. It's also kind of a pain changing out all these guards to go to a mulching plate or the plug or the bagging system. But regardless, we'll show you what's going on here. I'll start the mower, and you'll see I pulled off the cover so you guys can see what's going on. A lot of people might diagnose this right away as needing a new belt. And by taking off the cover, we can eliminate that issue. You'll see that I already did the right side. Both wheels weren't turning, and now we're going to do the left side. But when you see the shaft turning, you'll notice this left wheel doesn't turn. So what you're seeing there is the shaft spinning on both sides, but only the right wheel is turning. So we'll give you a little update on this Toro if you've been following along. I went through and did a lot of repairs on this mower. One of the things was I added that plate there because the hole was about worn through. I made two videos, part 1 and 2, on repairing a leaky, or not a leaky hydro, a 3/4 inch hydro shaft axle was broken, and we upgraded to a 1 inch using a kit. I put a new head gasket in the engine. I noticed that when I popped the dipstick, a little bit of smoke was in the crankcase, so I just went and changed that. I adjusted the valves when I did that. I cleaned it all up. I added a deflector to it. I did a little bit of welding on the deck. You can see there's a new ledge here. And over on this side, it was missing a little bit of a spacer there. So I welded some plate in there and leveled the deck out. This wheel, the shaft was actually bent. I heated it up, was able to straighten that out. I got it real straight, so I was happy with that. And I put new blades on it, and it's cutting great and looking great. So I figured I'd just give you guys an update on it while I have it. Alright guys, we're going to show you how to get in here. And they make these real thin plastic covers that are easy to break, and you don't want to break them, especially if you're working on a customer's mower. I've used a screwdriver and had them break, so now what I try and do is use a chisel, and you want to get to the middle and pry out there. So 9/16 holding on the wheel. I'm going to put a spacer under the deck just to kind of hold this up a little bit. There we go, just made it. So pull that off. Now, these tires have all kinds of washers and springs and snap rings. At least the gears inside the tire here don't strip out. They're made of plastic. A lot of the Murrays end up stripping, where these don't tend to strip. And you just got to kind of keep an eye and watch all your washers. So there's a thin flat washer here. This dust guard will pop off. Back here is an O-ring that can actually stay on there. I think that's supposed to keep some dust out. And I'm going to get a screwdriver. There we go. Snap ring pliers weren't quite fitting in there. So we have that clip, and then out comes the gear. And you can remove this entire dust cap here. And in here is the device that you want. And there's like a little dog there and a spring that you don't want to lose. So to clean this up, you just want to watch. Sometimes these springs are missing. Sometimes these little cast aluminum dogs are broken. But this one, everything's there. And they just need to be cleaned and lubricated. So I'm putting my finger on the spring so I don't lose it. And I'm cleaning this up with a little bit of PB Blaster. The other part that can cause issues is this surface. Sometimes rust can build up on here. If it's rusty, you just take a little sandpaper and scratch at it. That should be real smooth as well. This doesn't look too bad. And you can see how it resets itself. These parts are available. I'll put some links to them down in the description. I think they're AYP parts actually. So that one goes in the hole, that one goes over the dog, and if it's right, it should snap back on its own. Okay, so we have all our parts. I put a little tiny bit of grease on here. We'll put this dust shield back on. That goes on first. And then this piece with the dog, you got to make sure your spring's on there and everything's set. You got to fit the dog in this slotted hole down here. So just be careful not to lose your spring. And I'm going to have to spin this outside until it locks in there. There it goes. It's good. And then we'll put on this gear. I'll put a little grease on here. That should be good as our gear. And they don't give you much room for this clip, I'll tell you that. There it goes. Alright, it should be free right when you get it on there. And that's so that if you're pushing around the mower, it's not sticking. If it's grabbing or something, it's going to be something with that dog. You know, if you're trying to pull back the mower and the wheels are trying to turn or grab, that's what the issue is. So now all we got to do is just put on our wheel and we'll try it out. But before we do that, we need our dust guard. Just slip that on there. Alright. And then the tire. These tires are actually pretty good on here as far as tread and bearings. There's your nut. And if you're doing one side, I would do the other side too. Alright, we'll see what we got. forward. Well, it looks like we got it. That's exactly what you want. Both wheels powering. This thing, you know, it does pull strong when it's working, I'll tell you that. You also should be able to let go of the handle, and the mower should back up without those ratchets grabbing. So anyhow, guys, I'm Double Wide 6, and if you like the video, give it a thumbs up. And I'll put a link down there in the description to some of the parts I used for this repair. Thanks for watching, guys, and stay tuned.